Really nice red on that Power Prawn Junior with that Haas Helix, man. Was perfect. Sat right down in that grass for me, right in front of the redfish, and he smoked it.
What's going on? It's Matt with Salt Strong, and we've been getting some questions lately about how to rig our proprietary lures. As many of y'all know, we do have many proprietary lures, from the Bomber to the classic Slam Shady and on to the Power Prawn, which is always producing. But we get questions in the community as well as through other social media channels about how we rig these lures, and we've been using one of our new hooks that we've put out, and I want to just go ahead and make a video explaining to you about how we've been rigging our lures, like this Gold Digger Bomber right here on this Haas Helix hook. This is our new hook that we have in our tackle shop, available at fishstrong.com, and this is an example of it rigged on one of my favorites, the Gold Digger Bomber. And we're just going to go ahead and get into how to rig up all of our proprietary lures like this Bomber, the classic Power Prawn USA, which is a top performer, and one of my all-time favorites, the 2.0 size, but this is the Fred paddle tail. But I'll go over all of the sizes and all the profiles in just a second, but let's go ahead and jump right into it. Okay, Salt Strong Nation, we're back here at the table, and I do want to go ahead and show you some of the different options that we have in these different profile sizes, and go ahead and show you which hooks go with each respective size. Now down here you'll see we do have the Power Prawn USA Junior in its natural color, and we have the USA Power Prawn in the Gold Digger, as well as the Fred. Right here we do also have it in the Slam Shady color, even though it is not pictured here. But we do have the classic Slam Shady 2.0, the Gold Digger color in the 2.0 profile, as well as the Fred paddle tail in that 2.0 profile. Those are great for these 3/0 hooks right here. These 3/0 Haas Helix hooks are perfect for these size of baits. Anywhere in that 3 to 4 inch range is perfect. Now with this 4/0 hook, anything from that 4 inch size on to even say 6 inches, this 4/0 hook could be great for that. As you see here, I do have one rigged on the Power Prawn USA Original, and I do have the Fred the Jerk, the Alabama Leprechaun, the Slam Shady Bomber, as well as the Gold Digger Bomber pictured here as well. We do have the Alabama Leprechaun and the Fred Bomber coming out in this profile in these two colors very soon. Those are going to be one of my very favorites, so I can't tell you how excited I am about those. But let's go ahead and cover how to rig these hooks on these baits now. So what we'll do is, starting with the 3.0 size, we'll go ahead and take one of our hooks, and this is the 3/0 Haas Helix hook with the twist lock front end nose anchor right there for the front end of the bait. And I'm going to go ahead and show you how I rig this on this bait. Now, one of my favorite ways to do this is by actually leaving the bait vertical. In a vertical way, the bait actually hangs naturally straight. So what I'll do at that point is I'll find the center point of the bait, and I'll go ahead and anchor my pin straight into it. Once I get pushed down to where that corkscrew starts, that's when I'll hold my bait vertical. And once I get that corkscrew set to the nose of that bait, I'll just slowly start to twist. And once I feel it's gained some traction and taken hold, I'll keep notice of where that belly slot is right there, so that I can make sure that that belly slot is lined up with the hook. Once it's completed its turn on that twist lock at the nose of the bait. Once I see that I am lined up with that belly slot on the bottom side of the bait where the hook will go into, what I'll do is I'll just measure where exactly that hook is going to go into the bait. As you can see there, it'll go in about right there, so I kind of measure it with my thumb, and then I bend the bait just a tad so that I can force that hook on through. Now, as you can see, the hook is on the bait very straight, so that when this comes through the water, it's going to maintain a straight profile so that it's not going to run crooked, or it's not going to look unnatural as it runs through the water, because that's really the purpose. You want to make sure that this bait looks natural when it comes through the water, otherwise those fish are less likely to strike. That was the Fred paddle tail, and I'll just go ahead and move down the line with the Power Prawn USA. I'll do it with the Gold Digger version I have here. This is one of my main man, Justin Ritchie's favorite. This lure right here has produced some absolute units from my man in Mosquito Lagoon. So let's go ahead and go over how to rig this. Once again, a lot of the same here in the front end. We're gonna go right there in the center of the nose, and again, we're gonna push it down to where that corkscrew starts, and we're gonna slowly twist in. Once we feel like we've gotten a grip, we'll make sure we're hanging straight up and down, and then continue to just twist that bait on. And again, we want to take note of where that belly slot is in the bait so that we can line that belly slot up with where that hook is supposed to go. So once again, we'll make a quick measurement. It's gonna go in about right there, so I'll put my thumb there to measure where that hook needs to go in through the back. I'll bend the bait just a tad and make sure that that center of that hook comes up directly into the middle of the bait. That's important that it comes out right there in the middle so that you maintain a streamline and straight look on that hook, because it needs to look natural so that these fish will strike it, and that's what your finished product should look like right there. Now moving on down the line, we'll go ahead and go over the Power Prawn USA. That was much of the exact same with a different size hook, the exact same profile, just in a larger version. So you hook that much of the same. One thing I will mention is that with these baits, one thing I will do is I'm fishing in very, very heavy cover. I will often skin hook these baits, as you can see I've done right there, so that if you do come across some structure on the top or back of that bait, the hook point does not dig into it, and you're able to stay as weedless as possible. But as far as rigging, that's done almost the exact same way as that. It's just done with a larger hook. Now I will go ahead and show you the bomber and the jerk style presentation. Again, we're going to be using our Haas Helix hook. These are available in the tackle shop at fishstrong.com, along with all of the other bait options you see here and many more. Keep in mind that our insiders do get 20% off on all of the tackle you see here, as well as all of the other things in our tackle shop at fishstrong.com. So if you're interested in some amazing tackle and at a premium discount, be sure to head over there to fishstrong.com. But let's go ahead and do this Fred the jerk bait now. What we're going to do, same thing with the anchor pin. We're going to go through the nose of the bait, going to make sure it's right there in the center. Once we reach the nose, we're going to go ahead and hold the bait vertical so that it's straight on that anchor pin, and then again keep note of where that belly slot is so that we can line that hook up there. If you can see, you can almost see through the bait, and you can see where that hook point should go through the back of this bait. So we got it measured with our finger. We'll go ahead and curve the bait and pop that hook right on out the back side there. Once you got that hook pushed through, you just pull the bait up to the top, and if you'd like, as I said, you have the ability to just push the bait forward and then set it back on the nose of that hook there. That way you've essentially just skin hooked this bait so that just the tip of that hook is up under the surface of that bait, so that you maintain ultra weedless properties there. But this is a great presentation. This is absolutely one of my favorites for big trout. They can not get enough of this jerk style presentation. Same thing with this Alabama leprechaun. I really like to use this on the grass flats. It has that red and a gold fleck in there. As you can see, this does an amazing job of attracting those big fish. I've not only caught a bunch of really nice trout on this, but I've managed to have one of the best sight fishing days of my entire life while using just this lure right here, and redfish were absolutely crushing it. So I know that this right here is tried and true on those grass flats, and any clear water scenario that you may have, this is perfect for that. Now we'll go into the bomber profile. That's very similar to the Slam Shady profile, that 2.0 size. It's just a larger presentation. So essentially we're going to be doing the exact same thing, but just with a little bit different style. As you see, you want to make sure that the bait is straight, and you'll go ahead and center that twist lock anchor pin right there in the nose of the bait. Once I get it right there snug to the front, I'll go ahead and make a quick twist straight on there, and I'll go ahead and twist it all the way in. And once again, we want to keep an eye on where that belly slit is so that we can make sure that our hook will slide in there when we go to push this hook point through the body. So again, we measure really quickly and we bend the bait and send the point of that hook directly through this spot right here in the back. Now I want to go slow right here so I can show you. On these bombers, they have this really nice groove right here in the back of the body. What that actually does is gives you a great place to target when you're pushing that hook point out. So you know, if you get that hook point out centered right there in that groove, you can actually pull that bait up on there, and you essentially wouldn't have to skin hook this bait because that recessed back right there allows for you to keep that bait straight and weedless without having to skin hook it. Now granted, you could if you're in some very heavy cover and you feel like the conditions require it. It's always an option, but what I'm saying is you do have this really nice groove here that just helps you maintain those weedless properties even without that skin hook there. That, you know, it's just something else that you have to set a hook through when you go to set the hook on a fish when they've taken a bite of that bait. So that's how you rig these baits. We're going to go ahead and go back, take a quick overview of the advantages of using these baits and the Haas Helix hook together. Okay, so I wanted to go ahead and give you guys a brief overview on why we actually like rigging those lures on these hooks. And that's because these hooks do an amazing job of maintaining a weedless property. When you're coming through that shallow water and in places where we often fish for our favorite inshore species, redfish, speckled trout, flounder, and snook, there are often a lot of structural hangups, whether that be grass, oyster beds, mangroves, or whatever have you. So it can often be advantageous to fish with a weedless presentation so that you don't get hung up on those various items. And a great way to do that is by using a weedless hook. And this is one of our proprietary hooks, and we've created this to pair with our soft plastic lures. And it does an amazing job on all of these lures, not only underwater, but also these hooks do a great job of staying pinned up to fish. Now they do come in a 3/0 and 4/0 size, so you're able to pair each hook with the preferred size of bait that you're using. Now that smaller 3/0 hook size is perfect for the 2.0 or smaller profiles like the Power Prawn USA Junior, and like I said, the 2.0 profiles such as the Gold Digger, the Fred, the Slam Shady. Those profiles are perfect for that 3/0 hook. Now your larger profile baits are great for that 4/0 hook. Now that Power Prawn USA OG is great for that, as well as the Alabama Leprechaun and that Bomber profile. Those are all great options to use on that larger 4/0 size hook. Now, as I said, these hooks do an amazing job of maintaining weedless properties. I have been throwing these in heavy grass cover, whether it be floating grass or submerged grass. I've been able to use these hooks to throw in those type of conditions to continuously pull out solid fish. Now, a great thing about these hooks is not only that twist lock on the front end that allows you to have that nose hook keep in the front, but they do have, they're very sharp, very sticky, and they do maintain a great hookup when you do that hook set. So you don't have to worry about, you know, issues with that plastic not being able to slide far enough down that hook when you go to set that hook. As you can see there, that hook is able to slide all the way down the plastic. So when you do hook up into a fish, you're able to use the entire gap of that hook to be able to maintain control with that fish, not giving them any leverage if you were to have a smaller area where that bait was unable to slide down that hook. Now again, this is one of my favorite hooks for fishing any type of structure because it's so versatile in all types of structure, whether it be oyster beds that you're fishing or you're fishing submerged grass, or as in the summertime you get a lot of floating grass. No matter what the conditions that you're fishing, these hooks are just a great option for all around purposes. Now, if you're interested in picking up any of the lures that I've mentioned in this video, as they continue to be amazingly productive, you can do that at fishstrong.com. And we also do have the Haas Helix hooks in the 3, and 4-aught option available in the tackle shop as well. Also, if you're wondering where we caught those fish, we do share all of that information with the insiders in our insider community, where you have access to smart fishing spots as well as all the other amazing tools that are available to you in the Salt Strong community. As always, if you have any questions or comments for me, be sure to leave those for me down in the comments section, and I'll be sure to get back to you. And as always, thanks for watching. And if you're new to Salt Strong, just know that we are the #1 online fishing club in America. We actually guarantee to help you find and catch more fish, save money on tackle, make friends while doing it, or it's free. So we hope to see you in the Salt Strong Insider Club soon, and thanks for watching.